In Chapter 2 of Poppy Playtime, we come across a brand new antagonist named Mommy Longlegs, and let me tell you, she was 10 times as terrifying as I thought she'd be. However, she seemed to be a little bit too cuckoo, so I'm gonna be looking into not just her voice lines, but also the way she acts to figure out exactly what happened to her that led to her being like this. And so, let's start with the beginning. Before Mommy Longlegs was turned into a Bigger Bodies toy, her name was Mary Payne. However, what's interesting is that the bigger body was made before the actual toy. Mommy Longlegs was created in order to test out Playtime Co.'s new elastic plastic, and she ended up being so popular among the kids at the factory that they turned her into an actual toy. But during her time at Playtime, although she may have been popular among kids, she was still hostile towards staff, leading to the staff always keeping a 20-yard distance from her, which also seems to be the reason that we heard Stella Graber over the intercom in the game station, as it would be easier to have a recording of her rather than risk the life of an employee. However, as we see in the Hour of Joy tape, she joined forces with the prototype and all of the other toys in an effort to kill everybody in sight. And as we know, the Hour of Joy was a success. Pretty much every single person there was killed. However, with the toys being left alone, they were then under the reign of the prototype, as it seems that he was the one calling all the shots, even until now. And so, sometime after the Hour of Joy, it seems that she didn't agree with the prototype as much as she thought she did, leading to her being a lone wolf in the factory. And this is where things start to get interesting, as you would think that she went crazy from being alone all of these years. In a tweet made by Mob, we see a short description of Mommy Longlegs, which says, "Mommy Longlegs was always fiercely protective of the children that passed through the game station and frequently hostile with staff. Time has driven her to madness, but the truth is Playtime Co. broke her long ago. Her name was Mary once, but she probably doesn't even remember that anymore. Although it does say that time drove her to madness, it also says that Playtime broke her long ago, which leads me to believe that something could have happened to her during her transplant, which made her different from all the others, which could also explain why she was hostile toward the employees and only kind to kids. But if you combine that with about 10 years of being alone, you'll end up with the Mommy Longlegs that we see in Chapter 2. The first time we see her face to face is when she had just kidnapped Poppy, where she then explains the rules for getting the train code, which she took from Poppy. She says that it's been so long, and by the way she speaks, it sounds like she's been waiting for someone to play with for a long time. Then she just drops the fact that if we don't follow the rules, she will literally eat our organs.
So long. Isn't this exciting, Poppy? Very exciting, Mommy. Head to musical memory and Mommy will get things started. Obey the rules, or I'll tear you apart and eat your insides while you're still alive.
So we're forced to play 3 different games: Musical Memory, Whack-A-Wuggy, and Statues. And in each of these games, she seems to deteriorate more and more as we manage to keep beating them. Before Musical Memory started, she sounded perfectly normal and even a little bit excited, most likely hoping that we would die during the game. And it seems like we were supposed to, because in the very last round, we were spammed 10,000 different words and colors, and the only way to beat it was to press what seems to be an emergency shutoff button. And here's where we see that Mommy was actually a little bit disappointed.
Oh, it broke. That's no fun. For doing such a splendid job, Mommy has decided to give you part of the code for the train. Look hard.
However, she still gives us the train code and most likely still has hope that the other 2 games will kill us. which then leads to Whack-A-Wuggy. She tells us that the Huggies used to have strings attached to them in order to pull them back if they got too close to the children, basically saying we're gonna die if we fail. However, just like the last game, we managed to win once again. And this is where we see Mommy get disappointed again. She's upset that we managed to win, but then puts on a fake happy persona congratulating us for winning. But she then seems to threaten our life at the very end. She says that we only have one game left to play. She wishes we would have stayed forever, and it's never too late to change our mind.
Oh, you did it. Hooray! Mommy is so proud of you. Here.
However, the only possible way we could stay in the factories forever is if we died in one of the games, which she tries to force in the very last game. When we make it to statues, she told us that the kids who came to the game station would call her Mommy since she was the closest thing that they ever had to one, most likely referencing to the orphans that were kept at Playcare. But she threatened our life once again by saying that we used to work here, and so if anyone deserves to die alone, it would be us.
They called me Mommy because I was the closest thing they ever had to one. But they come for games and never come back. They left Mommy to die alone. Mommy didn't deserve that. But you worked here. So if anyone deserves to die alone, it's you.
However, once the game started, we managed to run away from PJ Pugapillar all the way until the very end. But the ending was completely collapsed in rubble, with no way out and PJ still following closely behind us. But we looked to the right and found a handle to grab onto, which made us crash through a window and survive PJ. But because she expected us to die in this third game, when she realizes that we're gone, we see probably one of the worst crash outs in playtime history. We heard her constantly switch back and forth between her personalities, one of them telling us that we did a good job and the other one telling us that we deserve to die.
Mommy knows the game is really hard, but Mommy's just decided you won. Come back. How dare you disobey me? I will find you.
However, it seems that Mommy's entire personality revolves around games, as eventually, while climbing through a vent, the floor opens up beneath us, leading us to a room where we can only grab up onto a handle. But before grabbing it, she drops down on us and tells us that we're gonna play one last game, hide and seek, showing that even though she failed to kill us with the other 3 games, she now wants to kill us in one last game, almost as if her former days of helping the children go through the game station has been ingrained into her personality. And this is when she goes nuts, bro. During hide and seek, we hear probably the most bone-chilling noises ever to exist. But we managed to hide from her twice, seemingly beating hide and seek as well, which is when we're led to one final chase, where it's no longer hide and seek, but Mommy is just straight up trying to kill us. And at the very end, we managed to make it into a room with a working grinder. But the thing is, Mommy's hand got stuck, leading us to turning the grinder on and eventually killing her. And during this, she went from absolutely crazy to completely composed and screaming out that the prototype will make her part of him. And so overall, throughout all of chapter 2, it seems that she would do anything to kill us during one of her games. But it's also possible that the reason she wanted to kill us so badly is because we're an employee. And we know that even before the Hour of Joy, she didn't like any of the employees, leading to all of them keeping their distance from her. So when she was 10 times as scary, that's when we show up, but we just barely managed to survive. And by the way that she spoke to us, it seems to me that she could have developed a multi-personality disorder, or it could just be an act that she's really bad at, because in the first 2 games, she's disappointed at first, but then puts on a happier personality, which was most likely to motivate us to play the next games. But when there were no games left to play, she flipped back and forth between being angry and also telling us to come back to get the train code. And so she seems to be yet another child ruined by Playtime Co's experiments. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.